Hello, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check. Hello, mic check.
The NC Education Lottery tells me those claim centers were closed to make safety a priority for the public and the lottery players. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let me know if you're good. Okay, fantastic.
Mic check 1 2 3 4. Mic check 1 2 3 4 to 5. Mic check. Okay, 0764.
Hey Tasha, what's up? Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check 1 2 3 4.
I'm in the studio. I just stay over here in the K set for as long as possible. I'm trying to, but Brent keeps coming closer to me. It's like he's trying to get me sick.
Mic check 1 2 3 4. Mic check 1 2 3 4 to 5. Mic check 1 2 3.
Good afternoon and welcome to your 4 to 5. I'm Maddie Gardner, joined by Tahisha Moise and Christian Morgan this afternoon. Don't forget, we are always live streaming on our Facebook page, a way for us to connect with you. This is not a one-way street. It is a two-way conversation here on the 4 to 5. So make sure you hop in that comment section and use our hashtag 425. Let's now take a look at the latest on coronavirus in North Carolina. There are more than 3,400 cases of COVID-19 and 50 virus-related deaths in our state. The North Carolina State Department of Health says 43,000 tests have been completed. Here are the numbers in our area. Guilford County is now reporting 122 cases and 8 deaths. That is the most deaths in any North Carolina county. Alamance County has 27 cases, Davidson County 73 cases and 1 death. Forsyth County has 108 cases, and of those cases, 59 people have recovered. Forsyth County is reporting 2 deaths. Montgomery County has 10 cases and 1 person has died. Randolph County has 37 cases and 2 deaths. Rockingham County 8 cases and 1 person has died. Stokes County has 8 cases. They are reporting no deaths. In Surrey County, there are 10 cases and no deaths. Wilkes County has 4 cases. 1 person has died there. In Yadkin County, there are 9 cases and no deaths. Governor Roy Cooper announced today that there are hot spots in Orange County, mainly in senior living facilities. He announced new guidance for senior care this afternoon.
We will require all nursing home staff to wear masks when interacting with patients to prevent the inadvertent spread of disease.
And that was Dr. Mandy Cohen you just heard from. All facilities must close non-communal areas in nursing homes, and residents and staff will also be required to go through daily screenings. Let's take a look now at your 4 to 5 roundup. The city of Burlington updated their state of emergency, and the new order goes into effect tonight at 7 o'clock. In it, it says big box stores that are considered essential now have to limit the number of customers they allow inside and offer sanitizing products for carts and baskets. Car washes that are still open must only be for exterior washes, and employees are not allowed to go inside of a customer's car. They also must offer proper sanitizing equipment. More people in New York City have now died from coronavirus than from the September 11 attacks, according to state officials. More than 5,000 people have died from COVID-19. On 9/11, 2,700 people were killed on the ground. Another 224 died when a hijacked plane hit the Pentagon. Mayor Bill de Blasio said the number does not include the hundreds of people who died in their homes. The state has now recorded more than 500 COVID-19 deaths per day since last week. There are close to 139,000 cases in New York. President Donald Trump says he's considering pulling funds from the World Health Organization because he says the agency did not give enough warning before the global coronavirus pandemic. Dr. Deborah Birx responded, saying China's data reporting to the organization is what caused that delay. She also says investigating the organization's reporting can wait until after the pandemic is under control. And new today, Senator Bernie Sanders dropped out of the 2020 presidential campaign. In a video, Sanders says he feels the road to the Democratic nomination is going to be unsuccessful for him. He also said a campaign could interfere with the nation's work in containing coronavirus. Former Vice President Joe Biden is currently the only Democrat candidate running.
According to Governor Roy Cooper's office, FEMA approved federal funding for North Carolina. That funding will help create alternative housing for people at high risk of getting the virus. So here's what you need to know. Over 16,000 spaces will be transformed for anyone without safe options to either self-isolate or social distance. This includes anyone who tested positive but doesn't need to be in the hospital, anyone exposed to the virus, anyone needing to social distance for safety precautions as well. FEMA will cover 75% of the costs.
North Carolina education lottery claim centers are closed indefinitely due to the coronavirus, but that's not affecting playing the lottery. One Triad convenience store worker spoke to WFMY News 2's Adoria Chumba about his concerns that many people are breaking social distancing rules to play the lottery. Adore?
A spokesperson for the North Carolina Education Lottery tells me that those claim centers were closed to make safety of the public and lottery players a priority. But Greensboro Star clerk Randy Fuller says that's not enough and that the Lottery Commission needs to do more to make sure people are staying home during this coronavirus pandemic.
When I see people come into my store and stand for 30 and 40 minutes around 20 and 30 other people just for a lottery ticket, that is not helpful. That is not sending the right message.
The NC Education Lottery says they've stopped advertising campaigns for April to help cut back on folks making trips to stores to buy lottery tickets. They also encourage winners to mail in prize claims or redeem signed winning tickets when centers reopen. But Fuller says that's still not helped.
Even if they don't stop the lottery, at least give a time where you can play the lottery from 6 in the morning to 6 in the afternoon, or at least until this coronavirus is under control.
Now, in a statement sent to us by the NC Education Lottery, they say they're urging lottery players to only buy lottery tickets when they're going to stores to pick up essential items. They also warn them to practice social distancing when they go to those stores and to also wear masks.
The CDC is preparing to loosen guidelines for self-isolation. Vice President Mike Pence says that the White House Coronavirus Task Force will be announcing those changes today. Those changes would make it easier for someone exposed to the virus to go back to work if they aren't showing symptoms. Reports say new guidelines will let those people go back to work if they get their temperature taken twice a day and wear a face mask. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this new guidance that could be coming down from the White House today. I asked you on my Facebook page what you had to say. Let's dive into some of the comments here. Princess writes, it sounds good if you could trust people to follow the precautions, but with COVID-19, it literally only takes one to spoil the whole bunch. Jolie writes, sounds like saving businesses money rather than concern for their employees' health. Michelle writes, no, they're going to spread it to people who can't afford to catch it. Ken Woods writes, if you're exposed, you can spread it. That's crazy. And Linda Johnson writes, finally here, bad idea. Keep them home. Better safe than sorry. So the overwhelming consensus on my Facebook page, Maddie, today was that people really aren't in favor of these guidelines. They are in favor of people going to work that need to go to work. But those asymptomatic people, as we have heard over the past couple weeks, is what the government was worried about the most, and that's why they said that we all need to wear those masks. So I'm curious to see what the White House Task Force, Coronavirus Task Force, is going to be implementing later today.
Right, Tahisha, that is not a tried and true come down rule for sure yet. It is just a proposal at this point.
Yes, proposal at this point. The president expected to speak later today, so we should hear something in the next few hours.
All right. Thank you so much, Tahisha. Well, back here in the Triad, Guilford County food banks are struggling to keep up with demand. Just like grocery store shelves, volunteers are doing their best to keep donations flowing so they can keep families fed. Now, there is a way you can help. A simple gesture is accepting donations on behalf of at least 11 Guilford County food pantries. If you want to donate, you can go to asimple-gesture.gso.org. And Tahisha, now is as good as time as ever to really give back in any way, because we've said it before, we'll say it again, we are all in this together.
Yeah, and we've actually thought of 10 ways that you can help your community right now. Number one is you can check in on your neighbors from a distance, of course. If they need help getting groceries, help them if you can. Volunteer if you can as well. That could be donating your time to an organization or donating food to a food bank, maybe the Guilford County Food Bank. You can also cut down on ways to help make sure that the national food supply stays stable. You can also give blood and donate money if you have the ability. Some other things you can do: check in on frontline workers in your community. Give them a call and reach out to them. See if maybe you can give them some coffee or a meal as they are battling this virus. On you, of course. You can shop local. And something you can do at home: start your spring cleaning early. You can donate any of those items sitting in your closet you don't need anymore to someone who could really use them. And finally, stay healthy and stay inside. If you take care of yourself, you are taking care of others. Really great things here. I was walking through my apartment complex today and I saw a note that one neighbor posted to another, and it said, "Hey, I'm thinking of you, stay safe." And that just really gave me all the warm fuzzies inside today, Maddie.
What a simple yet impactful gesture. You know, Tahisha, this virus obviously has done a number to the economy. A lot of people have fallen on hard times, lost a job, or have been furloughed. So those food pantries, like we mentioned, they really do need our donations right now. And we've seen in the past few weeks when they open up these pop-up mobile markets for people to go get free food, they're just crowded with hundreds of people. So that's really something to consider right now.
Right, and food insecurity, was already a big thing in Guilford County before coronavirus hit. So as you can imagine, right now things are magnified. So again, if you do have anything lying around, some extra cans, or maybe you go to the grocery store and pick up some extra things on your way there, donating will be a great thing to do.
All right, Tahisha, let's check in now with Christian Morgan for a forecast. It's hot outside, Christian.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Maddie, those warm afternoons have really been the story over the last few days. warm days and then a few showers and pop-up storms in the afternoon. And that's what we're dealing with right now. Watching a line of storms up in parts of Virginia. And if it can hold together, we could get some of those storms with some damaging wind gusts or even some hail here in the Triad. Main timing would be from about 6 until 10 tonight. You can see on Futurecast, really after that, all is quiet overnight. But then we're talking about another round of storms that could come through actually in the morning hours tomorrow morning with some damaging winds and also hail. Our Good Morning Show team will keep you updated on that. That's just something we're keeping our eyes on. We are in a level 1 risk for severe weather heading into tomorrow. So we'll just keep our eyes on that. Temperatures, like you said, still warm in the lower 80s right now. Tonight, under partly cloudy skies, it won't be all that cold, down to 60. And for your Thursday, we're going to warm up close to 80 again. We'll watch for some showers and storms in the morning, clearing out in the afternoon. 4 to 5, we'll be right back.
Hi, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're hearing a snap, crackle, pop in my microphone. It's never a good thing. So let's just move around here and see if it happens. Was that one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I thought I heard it too, but then I thought it might be my earpiece because that was giving me problems yesterday. How's it sounding? This is where I was standing when we heard it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, cool deal. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your patience. With gyms closed, many people are trying to navigate the unfamiliar world of at-home workouts. But after a few weeks, you may be looking for a new routine or just some new motivation. I had a training session this morning with personal trainer Trey Thomas, who created a workout just for our 4 to 5 viewers. Take a look. For this workout, you'll need a few household items: water bottles, laundry detergent, or gallons of water or milk, a broom, a towel, and a backpack filled with a few heavy books. Trainer Trey Thomas says it's not the equipment that matters.
I think we get so caught up as passing by that same machine or going through with our same path every single day, we kind of lose sight about what working out really is about. First thing we're going to do is it's very important that you warm up. So we're going to do a functional warm up.
So grab your broom.
So we do a back lunge with a raise here, big stretch, and then switch legs.
Just don't pull too hard.
Nice.
Broke the flipper. Next up, inchworms to a push-up.
So we're gonna go straight down with the arms, walk out to a push-up position. We're gonna perform a push-up. We're gonna come up. We're gonna walk back in. We're gonna stand up just like that.
Now the workout begins.
So ready to get into the workout?
Even though I was already sweating.
First thing we're gonna do, all you need is a bottle of water.
Place the bottle under your chest and get in a push-up position.
I'm gonna start on my right side first. I'm going down, down, up, up, grab my bottle, bring it down 5, put it back in place.
Next, grab your towel and come into a high plank position.
I'm gonna put one toe on the towel, okay? So as I'm here holding the prone position, I wanna raise my leg out to the side as high as I can get it, and then back down.
Thomas says this is another great exercise for your upper body, hip flexors, and core. Now grab your heavier weights.
So what Maddie's gonna do is, you got the detergent? There you go. Gonna make sure, you see me checking my water, I'll make sure it's screwed on real tight. Okay? So, I'm gonna stand here, shoulder width apart. Always check the feet. I'm gonna do a full squat, stand up, and curl.
Thomas says it's not about how much time you spend exercising.
Because you don't wanna feel like you have to work out for 2 to 3 hours. It's all about what you're doing in the gym and how you do it. In this case, your gym is your living room.
Okay, we're almost done. Grab your backpack loaded with books and throw it on your back.
I'm gonna do a full squat, hands on my head. I'm up, knee to elbow, squat. There you have it. There's a couple of exercises of how you can continue to chip at your goal. Stay in shape, get a good sweat going, get your heart rate elevated while you're home.
Yeah, I got the good sweat going, that's for sure.
I like it, I like it.
Thomas says staying motivated is key during this stay-at-home order.
Really start to get creative and, understand what it is that you want to do and achieve within your fitness goal. You can't lose sight of that just because we have the COVID-19 and coronavirus and, going on right now. If anything, this should open light to make you want to live a more healthy, productive lifestyle,
And where else are you going to go?
Not to mention you have all the time in the world.
All right, so I posted the full workout, including some that you didn't see in that video, and the number of reps on our website. That's also where you can find out how to get in touch with Trey Thomas. Now, Tahisha, it was a tough workout, and I forgot to record it the first time we went through it, so I actually had to do it twice this morning. Yeah, fortunately, Trey was awesome. He walked me through it again, but I think I'm going to be a little bit sore later.
Yeah, I mean, that was already a tough workout just to watch and then to have to do it again twice. But I see what you did there, Maddie. You got your workout in and you got your work assignment done. 2 birds, 1 stone. I see what you did there.
I just am trying to take a page out of Eric Chilton's book. He finds a way to eat and work at the same time. So I thought I might as well work out. With him being out this week on vacation, I thought, yeah, I'll embody Eric Chilton. 2 birds, 1 stone. All right, again.
And it is just great to be able to, okay. Oh, I can talk. Okay, great. I was just going to say, it's just good to be able to use things you have in your house, water bottles, brooms, towels. The towel thing, I think, is a really good one.
Yeah, it's an in-home glider, right? Just for your foot right there. We'll have to try some of those moves later. By the way, like I said, that entire workout is posted for you right now on our website. Don't you love this delay? A little technical difficulty, but we can laugh at ourselves. We'll be right back.
know, it seems like everything is canceled lately, but you know what's not? Getting outside, taking a walk, getting some fresh air. You can still do those things, and there couldn't be a better place to do it than right here in the Triad. But how? Where? We've got a lot to offer here, and I tried to answer some of those questions today. It's tough being stuck at home during these trying times, but there's an advantage to living in the Triad.
We're so fortunate in Greensboro. I mean, we got Country Park, we've got Battleground Park, we've got Vermil, over 50 miles of trails that are, like I say, all interconnect.
Our parks and our trail systems are unlike any other city in the state of North Carolina.
We have some of the best amenities in all of the country, all of North Carolina and all of the country. So for citizens to recognize that, that means a lot to us.
Getting out and getting some exercise is good for you. It helps clear your mind, relieve your stress, and boost your spirits.
You know, it's an advantage over many other big cities in North Carolina. They do have trails in Charlotte and they do have trails in Raleigh, but none of them are connected like what we have here.
Dale Holder is the leader of the Fat Tire Society in Greensboro, a group of mountain biking enthusiasts who love riding, but also help to keep those trails nice and clean.
You know, there's more people on the trail, so we just ask that everybody share the trail and enjoy it and have a good time and enjoy this beautiful weather.
And at least we're all going through this with good weather.
We're really lucky that this happened in the spring. You know, think about if this happened in November or December and it's getting dark at 5 o'clock. And it's cold outside.
So take care of yourself. Ease your mind, because it may be one of the few things, but going for a walk, getting exercise, it isn't canceled, as long as you're practicing your social distancing.
A Greensboro dad got to celebrate his 76th birthday while practicing social distancing.
I love this story. The family surprised him with a birthday parade down their neighborhood street. Cheryl Connor shared this video at WFMY News 2. You can see cars drove through the neighborhood honking and having signs to celebrate his big day. Now, Cheryl says the family hasn't been able to spend time with her dad recently, but it really was a great way to surprise him.
And weather-wise, we've pretty much had the same story the last few days. Nice, warm days, but in the afternoon, we have to keep our eyes to the sky for a few of those pop-up showers and storms. We've been watching this line of storms moving through Virginia now, and if it's able to hold together, it could move through our area here in the Triad from about 6 until 9 o'clock tonight, maybe a little earlier along the North Carolina-Virginia border. And then another line of storms that we're watching to see if they form would be tomorrow morning from about 5 a.m. until 9 a.m. And your Good Morning Show crew would keep you updated on that. Temperature-wise, we are in the 70s, in the 80s right now. We'll cool back down to the 60s overnight under partly cloudy skies. And then tomorrow morning, we'll watch for a few morning storms that could pack a punch with some damaging winds or some small hail. After that, we're clearing out for the afternoon, and we are a tad bit cooler, right around 80 for your Thursday afternoon high.
Okay, plugged in. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, mic check. Usually senior night is planned really far in advance. Okay, cool.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together.
Good afternoon and welcome back to your 4 to 5. I'm Maddie Gardner in studio, joined by Tahisha Moise and Christian Morgan, who are live from their homes this afternoon. This is an interactive news show. It's built to connect you with us and your community. So during the breaks, we chat with you on our Facebook page, WFMY News 2. Make sure you are using our hashtag 4 to 5 so we can stay connected. Let's take a look this afternoon at the headlines. The Bojangles in Mayodan is temporarily closed after an employee there tested positive for COVID-19. The restaurant will now undergo a deep cleaning. The infected employee last worked at the restaurant on March 31st. Now, the dine-in portion of that Bojangles has been closed since March 19th. The company says they will pay staffers during the closing. Walt Disney World is honoring healthcare workers in honor of World Health Day. The theme park lit up the iconic Cinderella's castle in brilliant blue lights. Now, the day was meant to celebrate nurses, doctors, and healthcare teams who work tirelessly to keep the public safe. Disney also projected thank you onto the enchanted storybook castle in Shanghai Disneyland to show their gratitude. Stepping onto the shore at Wrightsville Beach, it could cost you up to $650. The town recently upped the penalty for violating a ban on visiting public beaches after the new Hanover County shut them down. Those violations initially carried only a misdemeanor charge with a $150 fine, but now town leaders have added a possible $500 fine. It is still up to officers to decide whether violators should get the misdemeanor charges and the $150 fine or the $500 fine. They could also get both, and the combination of both would carry a fine of $650 and a misdemeanor charge. Over the weekend, 18 people were charged with violating the order. The Winston-Salem Forsyth County Board of Education is waiving any additional local graduation requirements. Instead, they will follow the State Department of Public Instruction's guidance. The State Department calls for high school seniors to meet only the minimum State Board of Education requirements of 22 credits on or before the originally scheduled graduation date. So if seniors have passed classes and met all of those requirements by the time third quarter grades are posted, they'll be done with their school year by the end of the month. Well, the high school spring sports season was cut short or canceled, and a lot of seniors across the country won't get a senior night like this. It's a big honor for seniors in their final year, and WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson is showing us how one high school was able to make it happen.
Usually senior night is planned really far in advance. Normally it's the last game of the season, but nobody had time for that this year. Page lacrosse parents pulled together though, and they did their own senior night for their guys. Now here's how they did it. The North Carolina High School Athletic Association said no more games after Friday, March 13th. Page was supposed to play against Northwest the next day, so both teams agreed to move it up. Team parents had less than 24 hours to pull off senior night. With a lot of teamwork, they were able to give their kids the honor they deserve.
Everyone pitched in. You know, it was like we just wanted to make it happen for our seniors. And so you just do what you got to do just to get it just to make it happen. And I know how important it is for parents to be able to walk out into the field and have their son honored. And we have an older son who actually went to Bishop McGinnis, and it's a big deal, and it's a big deal to walk out into that field. So we just wanted to make it happen.
Coming up at 6 in sports, we're going to show you exactly what they did for these seniors. And Maddie, this did not look like a makeshift senior night. It didn't look like they didn't put any effort into it. It was kind of perfect. It looked like they had a ton of time to pull this one off.
That's awesome, Amanda. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see what it looked like at 6. Let's check in now with Tahisha Moyes.
Hundreds of airline employees have tested positive for COVID-19 in recent days, and the industry is bracing for more. Around 100 American airline flight attendants have tested positive, and 600 Southwest employees have tested positive for the virus. Now, those numbers come from the unions that represent those employees. For context, American Airlines has 25,000 flight attendants, so less than 1% have tested positive. Meantime, 2 American flight attendants have passed away. Officials said they are working closely with public health officials to evaluate their health and safety measures. Southwest denies that 600 number, saying, quote, far less than 1% of the company's 60,000 employees have tested positive. Meanwhile, some flight attendants are now calling on the government to ban leisure travel altogether because of COVID-19. They say it could be putting their lives at risk, and they could also be spreading the virus. The attendants say there is no way to social distance themselves with the current CDC guidelines. They also say that crews don't have the proper safety equipment like gloves and masks. One member compared it to being sent off to the front lines of a war without a gun. Now, according to TSA, the number of air travelers is way down to record levels. Since March 1st, the agency has publicly released the number of people who have gone through security and compared it to the year before. Well, yesterday, less than 100,000 people passed through security. A spokesperson I talked to said it's never been that low before, compared to more than 2 million the same day last year. Now, the last time we hit those numbers, 2 million passengers traveling through TSA, that was on on March 8th, just a little more than a week before President Trump announced his slow the spread guidelines. Maddie, I have to be honest, when I was speaking with that TSA spokesperson and they said that there was, 97,000 people going through security, it really puts it into perspective for you. And it kind of tells you that people are heeding those stay-at-home orders and keeping the airplanes and those airlines empty unless it is essential travel.
Yeah, and I think that's the important thing to point out here, that some air travel is essential. If you think about doctors and nurses going places to help take care of people. I know we've run a story recently about Georgia nurses going to New York City just to help with the influx of COVID-19 patients. So if we keep those airplanes open to them, absolutely, we need to limit our non-essential travel, right? No one should be traveling right now under those stay-at-home orders.
No, and it is always interesting too. And one thing I do want to note, you don't want to judge people while they're on the plane because you don't know what their reason is for traveling. Someone could be going to take care of someone that's sick. So that's also just a reminder for you. You don't know what someone else is going through. You don't know their reasoning for doing things. So just keep that in mind as well.
All right, let's turn now to how the coronavirus is impacting our wallets, right? Unemployment is climbing, and there's also been a surge in the number of people who are looking for loans. North Carolina ranks 19th where people need loans the most. That's according to a new study by Wallet Hub. They use their internal credit report data and Google search data to come up with these rankings. They tracked how many times the words loan, payday loans, and home equity loans were used on Google. Their analysis, greater interest in getting a loan, indicates that more people in our state are struggling to make ends meet. Well, from March 16th through April 7th, more than 470,000 people filed for unemployment in North Carolina. About 29,000 filed just yesterday. The office usually processes about 3,000 claims a week. Now, officials say they've made changes to address the influx in applications. The state says they added 50 positions to the unemployment call center. They also told us they've partnered with another call center to share the load and address calls and claims.
Otherwise, it's another one of those afternoons where it's been really nice in the daytime, and then we're watching for a few showers and storms in the afternoon. One thing we're keeping our eye on right now is this line of storms up in Virginia, putting down some damaging winds and some hail possible in those storms. And if they hold together, they could come through our area from about 6 p.m. until about 10 p.m. tonight, maybe a little bit earlier in the northern Piedmont. But after that, things are quiet overnight under partly cloudy skies. The one thing we're going to watch, though, is for another line of storms to come our way tomorrow morning from about 5 a.m. until 9 a.m. And those could also have some damaging winds and hail in them as well. Your morning show crew will keep you updated on that. Here's the setup. High pressure down to our south. That continues us on our warming trend, at least for one more day. But this approaching cold front, that's what has the possibility to produce some of those strong storms tomorrow morning. After that, we've got one more warm day in the 80s. But we are going to cool down in a big way heading into Friday and Saturday. Tomorrow afternoon, also going to be really windy. We could have some wind gusts in the 30 to 40 mile per hour range tomorrow. Temperature-wise, right now, we're still warm in the 80s across the triad. And we're not going to cool off all that much tonight. Overnight lows will be right around 60 under partly cloudy skies with an isolated shower or a pop-up storm as well. Right around 80 degrees for your afternoon high on Thursday. And then we are much cooler, dry for Friday and Saturday with temperatures only right around 60 degrees. And we are keeping our eye on your Easter Sunday. That could be another day with the potential for some severe weather. We'll keep an eye on that. And we'll keep you updated as well.
Yesterday was masks, today it's gloves. A lot of folks use these when they go to the grocery store, but can lead into a false sense of security.
Right, because you're picking up things, you're using the gloves, but then you touch something else.
Yeah, and then you're spreading those germs around everywhere.
Yeah, but I think a lot of folks don't think that's happening. So you got the gloves, right? And you pull a few items off the shelf. I mean, I love me some mac and cheese. Who doesn't, right? And then you got to have ice cream, right, with the cones. So you do that too. And then what happens to you?
Well, maybe somebody calls you from home. They say, oh, I forgot to put something on the list. Can you grab that too?
Right. So you grab the phone, right?
So
and
you pick up your phone, you touch it, and then you put your phone on your face. There's just a lot happening there with the germs.
Oh, you see what's happening there. There's germs here. There's germs here. There's germs everywhere. Yeah, that's what happens. That's the problem. So there's a how-to for for how to actually use gloves the right way coming up at 6 o'clock. All right, and since we're on the subject of germs and thinking that you're safe, just because you're outside doesn't mean you can get closer together. And I think we have at least one more really good day before it gets cool. So remember, 6 feet away is like a surfboard or a yoga mat or an adult's bike being in between you long ways. Playgrounds totally off limits. Go by yourself for the ride. Or, you know, I mean, it's not a community ride, got to go, or which is people that you actually have in your inside space. And remember, if you're outside and you see a whole bunch of people out there, you just probably need to avoid that. Social distancing is designed to keep you physically healthy, but it can take a toll on your mental health, right? Tonight at 5:30, we're talking to a mental health expert on how to cope. You'll be able to text her questions, 336-379-5775. Remember, this is a text, not a call. Welcome back to your 4 to 5. People in Wuhan, China are allowed to travel freely again. The city, once the epicenter of the coronavirus, was on lockdown for 76 days. People are now able to go outside, and thousands boarded the first trains and planes that were leaving Wuhan. Authorities are still checking temperatures, and passengers are wearing protective gear, while a government app determines if someone may be carrying the virus. To mark the end of the lockdown, Wuhan put on an extravagant light show, but critics warn it's still too early to celebrate until the worldwide outbreak finally comes to an end. A small congregation will gather at the famed Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris this week to commemorate Good Friday. Attendance is limited to just 7, but the service will be televised and live streamed across the world. There will be no Easter Saturday processions this year because of a nationwide lockdown in France. This comes nearly 1 year after a fire tore through the cathedral and destroyed its roof, toppled the spire,
It almost brought down the main bell towers and the outer walls. So it is important to remember that staying home is our only defense against this. It really does save lives, but it's also good to talk about some of the places we miss the most and look forward to when we can visit again. So that's why I asked you on Facebook. You can see my cat Stewie. He wanted me to stop working out at home, get back in the gym. Caroline Alexandra said, I really miss work. I'm a teacher, so I thrive being with my precious students. I miss hanging out in groups as well, but I'm so blessed to live in a beautiful place where I'm still able to run in nature. Reagan Mann said, I miss church and dinner dates, or really any kind of date with all of the people I love. Hopefully we're on the downhill slide of all of this. Brenda Steyer said, I miss going to church and being with friends. And Kimberly Easton said, I miss being able to go to Wilmington and see my family. And I would really like a haircut. I'm going to look like a mess before this is over. Kimberly, I'm sure you will not look like a mess before all of this is over. But I really haven't stopped to think about, Tahisha, all of the places I haven't been able to go in the past few weeks because I've been so focused on how important it is to stay home.
Right. I know one place I really want to go, and that's home. Both my parents, you know, obviously they're a little older. My mom works in healthcare. You know, I want to be able to just give them a big hug and give them a hug, give all my friends a hug, just see people. You know what I mean? I'm missing the face-to-face interaction. I miss you, Maddie.
No, I miss you too. Yeah, we haven't seen each other since you started anchoring from your living room, Tahisha. At least we get to see each other through these 9 screens we got here. You're pretty larger than life in the studio. But yeah, I miss the big things, right? Family. It's going to be weird not going to church physically on Easter Sunday, but the online services will be good. And honestly, just going out to eat at a restaurant and sitting down and ordering food. Oh my goodness.
And I will say, if you're having hair troubles, take a page out of my book. A wig is great. You just put it on and go. Then you don't even have to worry about if your hair's cut or not.
There you go. Yes, hopefully, like Reagan Mann said in those Facebook comments, we're on the downhill side of this, but we'll still be very, very careful until we get word from officials. All right, let's check in now with Christian Morgan for a forecast.
All right, guys, let me show you kind of what we're keeping our eyes on as we go throughout the evening hours. There is a line of storms up in Virginia. There have been some severe thunderstorm warnings in place for those storms, possibly packing some damaging winds or even hail. If they hold together, they could come through our area from about 6 until 9 o'clock tonight, a little bit earlier to the north of the Triad. After that, we're pretty quiet overnight, partly cloudy skies. But let me show you what we're watching really tomorrow morning from about 5 a.m. until about 9 a.m. We could get another line of storms that comes through the Triad. Again, that could pack some strong winds or some damaging winds. Our Good Morning Show team, Duran and Ed, will keep you updated on that as it's happening, if it does happen. After that, we are clearing out and we are windy for your Thursday afternoon. We continue our warming trend for one more day behind that front. But again, we're going to get windy and things are going to cool down in a big way as we head into your weekend. Temperature-wise right now, we're still in the 80s across the Triad. And then your 7-day forecast, one more day of warmth, upper 70s, close to 80 for your Thursday afternoon. It will be windy. Keep that in mind. And then big changes. We are dry and much cooler, right around the 60-degree mark for Friday and Saturday. And keeping an eye on Easter Sunday for some potential severe weather. We'll keep you updated as we see fit over the next couple of days on that. Your 4 to 5. We'll be right back.
Coming up on WFMY News 2 at 5 o'clock, Greensboro developer Roy Carroll makes a generous offer to help fight coronavirus in Greensboro. He wants to send a jet to China to buy medical supplies like N95 masks on his own dime. A closer look at his plan and who would be getting the supplies later today on WFMY News 2 at 5.
right, so obviously zoos across the nation are closed right now because of COVID-19, but today is still National Zoo Lovers Day. So Brian Bennett is here with us, our digital guru, reporting live from home. Brian, you asked people about zoo animals on social media.
Yes, absolutely, Maddie. We took it to Facebook to ask people what their favorite zoo animal was in honor of National Zoo Lovers Day. So without any further ado, let's see what you had to say. Let's dive right on in. The first comment we're going to start with is from the North Carolina Zoo. They said, missing you on Zoo Lovers Day. Hello, is it me you're looking for? Yes, we are, actually. Let's move to the next one. Jay says, wolf, because they are a family-oriented species and they look out for one another and have a sense of loyalty. Moving right along, Miss Hargrove says, the gorillas in our zoo in Jersey, as they are endangered and share a large percentage of DNA with us. And Jody says, snow leopard, they are beautiful. Deborah says, the mountain lion and polar bear. Serena says penguins, and lastly, Robin says giraffe. I do want to go to a comment from Lynn Stokes, if we can scroll to that last comment there on the tag board. She says all of them, we can't pick one or just a few. Me, myself, I have to go with the cheetah because they're like one of the fastest animals. I think they can get up to like 70 miles per hour, which means they can compete with cars on 40, Maddie.
Yeah, if the cars were going above the speed limit, Brian. No, I will say if you are missing the zoo, the North Carolina Zoo does a live stream on their Facebook page, so you can check in with all the animals you love. We'll be right back.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. Hi, one of the most common symptoms of coronavirus is a fever, but many stores